Hi, Bill. I have your Panda here. Um, you had said your local shop had the watch for a long time and like something like I don't know, many months, maybe close to a year, and that they at first were optimistic about being able to work on it, and then they said that they couldn't get the chronograph to run correctly, and then they basically washed their hands of it, and they said that they couldn't work on it. I got your watch yesterday, and I took a very quick look at it because that's really all it needed for me to ascertain what the problem was. 6139 and 6138 Seiko chronographs, not many people work on them because they're fussy in particular and demanding, and you have to know what you're doing, and you have to have the right parts, and also you have to have a good condition watch to start with. In the Philippines, a lot of these watches were sold in the Philippines and ended up there. And it's a very hot and wet environment. And they tended to be worn without maintenance for a long time. And then they were sort of worn basically until they died. And then they sat in a drawer or a box. And then all of a sudden, vintage Seikos became worth money. And then what happened was is that little teeny tiny shops on the sidewalk, like a table on the sidewalk, if you want to call that a shop, would repair these, quote unquote, just enough to make them saleable on eBay, and then they end up here. And so you get these watches that lived extremely hard lives and were abused, and then were sold on eBay running just enough to be saleable, filled with aftermarket parts, and with terrible repairs that were made literally just to make the watch so that it hung together long enough for the money to come in. This is one of these watches. You can see the wear on the winding bridge. You can see the wear and the corrosion on the chronograph bridge. You can see the wear and corrosion on this winding bridge here. There's some crazy stuff. This is a really typical Philippines rework example. See if I can get this. I haven't even tried to get this out of here. There's supposed to be a movement ring spring in here. They just used a chunk of wire. It's not actually. Let me try and repair it. It's not actually a spring at all. Get out. Get out. I can't even remove it. The ring is all mashed and pushed in place here, and there isn't even a spring. It's literally just a coil of wire. The case has been polished. I can't get the movement to run at all. The dial is a replacement. It's an aftermarket replacement. The handset has been badly restored. It's like black paint globbing on the surface. They sort of touched up the red here, and the case has been refinished. I cannot even get it to run. And I will tell you, watches that are in this condition, there's kind of no way to ever really make them right ever again. I mean, this should just come smoothly right out. It's like it's all bent and distorted and it's jacked up. I can't even pull it out to look at it. I can't get the movement to run a tick. I can't get the chronograph to reset. I would not. Don't put any money into this watch. There's no point. It's at best parts only. The parts are usable, but the movement itself is going to be junk. To put it bluntly, it's not going to be a good movement, and the reason it's not worth it to go in here to try to rebuild this is that there's going to be so many worn and bad parts that it will be exorbitantly expensive to bring back, and it still will never run that well. It'd be better to take your money and put it into a better example. This one is simply, it's just not worth a whole lot. It's probably got some good parts in it, but it's not a watch really anymore. It used to be. It isn't anymore. So that's the problem. So it was an abused watch that was then badly restored, and sold away just to get money in. It wasn't restored with any kind of thought about longevity or doing proper work. The movement's covered in surface corrosion and hazing, and it won't even tick. I mean, the balance looks like it's okay, but seriously, don't put any more money into this watch. You should save your money put it towards a better example. And I'm so sorry to give you bad news, but when these, I'm seeing more and more and more now of these Philippines reworks that have sort of bubbled through the collector sphere, where people bought them and they can't return them because people in the Philippines won't take them back once they get the money, and then they sell them on to somebody else. And so I'm having to be very careful with what I take, because more and more of these things, I'll ask people, hey, where'd you get the watch? Where did it come from? Oh, I bought it off eBay. It came from a guy in wherever, Michigan or Florida or something else like that. Well, that's no longer a guarantee that it's an American watch, because there's so many of these Philippines reworks in there. Poor thing. Might have some good parts. Might have some good parts. Bits of it might be usable. But, I mean, in terms of it ever being a working watch again, no, those days are over. Sorry, little watch. I'm sorry. All right, Bill, you let me know what you want done. Thank you.